where the magnolias bloom so late. A child stands alone in fear, wishing someone would hold them near. Through the bridges of Georgia's care, they're reaching out but life ain't fair. Isolation's heavy on their heart, praying for a brand new start. Child protectors on the line, Georgia's foster, let love shine. I see peace, he send them far and wide, across the borders where they divide. Families waiting with open arms to shield them from all worldly harms. Through the bridges of Georgia's care, they're reaching out but life ain't fair. Isolation's heavy on their heart, praying for a brand new start. Child protectors on the line, Georgia's foster, let love shine. Oh, Georgia's foster, let love shine. Though the journey's tough, the road is long, singing out this hopeful song. Every child deserves a chance to find their home, their love, their dance. No more darkness, no more tears, just a future free from fears. With each step they grow so strong, in a place where they belong. Through the bridges of Georgia's care, they're reaching out but life ain't fair. Isolation's heavy on their heart, praying for a brand new start. Child protectors on the line, Georgia's foster, let love shine. Love shine. Oh, Georgia's foster, let love shine. Love shine. Oh, Georgia's foster, let love shine.
Hey everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to a podcast here. How is everyone doing? It's been a while. So to fill everyone in, sorry that I haven't been on. I've been sick, and finally I'd say I'm fully recovered. I don't know if y'all can hear me. So Chris, how you doing? Can you hear me, Chris? How's everyone doing? Welcome in. So, there's been a lot going on in the child welfare system all over the world. I've seen some news stories in the United Kingdom, and they say that they comment a lot on some of my TikToks and say that they need help over there, and so it's worldwide, everyone. This whole fiasco we got going on in our child welfare system everywhere. They have it overseas. It's here in our home states. I mean, and all these children that are just lost in the system. My heart's with the kids that are aging out of foster care. Can you not hear me, Stacy? Is it not working? Can you hear me? If some of y'all know my story. I just released my song "Free from Fears." It's out on Spotify and YouTube Music and Take My Breath. Okay, anyhow, I'm not even. So, anyways, so back to what I was saying. I don't know how everyone's doing, but there's like a 24-hour sickness going around that it knocked me off my feet. Hey, Chris, how are you? Are you here with us, Chris? Let's see. Wicked is the worst. Who is that? So, the CPS system is wicked, yes, if that's what you're saying. But so we are shared out on TikTok, YouTube, probably Rumble, Twitch, Kick, Instagram. I think it's Instagram, but we're on CPS Breaking News and CPS Fighting Justice, and then Wicked Warriors, and then also Unmasking Foster Care Corruption on Facebook. We also so share out the live, like, comment, follow us. Stacy, may I ask what if you have any questions or anything? Can I ask that? So this is my first day back in a week or two, which we're gonna have haters, we're gonna have people coming in. Am I male or female? I'm whatever I want to be, right? I'm female. If you may ask, what's up with does it matter? Really? Anyhow, so do you even know what this channel is for? So it's okay. Good, Chris. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I was just reading these comments and I'm like, okay, I guess all the comments are coming in at one time. But so what's going on with you, Chris? Have you heard anything about about your kid or anything? So I've noticed in the news lately that there is a lot of things going on, like some for the better, some for not so good. But I do know that there's positive things happening with it. So they are listening, and so keep speaking your voice. Keep voicing your story. Don't 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 try to hide. Don't don't become a victim of their bullying. Don't do that. Parents, you are a lot stronger than what you think. You hope you can see my son tomorrow. Is that what they're pushing for, Chris? Is that what they're letting you? I did. So Carrie's daughter reached out to me too, Chris. So I'm gonna, it's different without Carrie, and I wrote her a song called Mi Hermana. So I was gonna see if Darren would share that out for me, if he wouldn't mind. But so is it gonna be like a supervised visit, Chris? I think my connection is like, oh yeah, we're about to have we down here in Georgia, we're about to have a bad. They say it's supposed to happen like right now, but it's still sunny outside, and schools are already shut down tomorrow. But I'm waiting. It's snowing there. Is it still snowing? Where y'all at again? Are y'all up in Are y'all in Maine too? Yeah, mine. It's it's still it is cold. So how much snow did y'all get? Oh, or is it the nasty icy? Can you have y'all went outside and gotten it? It's freezing down here. I mean, my son the other day, he said, "Mom," he said, it got to really freezing cold. He said we couldn't go outside in shorts, and come to find out in Texas, they're not used to cold weather, so it got down to like 30 degrees out there, and they were like freaking out. It was, oh wow, so you're right over there, okay? So you're right up above Texas, so okay. It was So y'all already got snow? Wow. So it must be moving this way, I guess, to Georgia. I forgot how much they said that we're gonna get. I know up in the mountains, my aunt was saying that it was snowing up there yesterday, no, 2 or 3 days ago, and but it didn't really do anything. Like, it was just here. It's just cold. I mean, I would be so happy if we can get a white outside view. That would be nice. Get about an inch. Uh, how long are they saying the snow is supposed to go for? Because and everyone that's listening right now, be safe in these storms, these ice storms, and the cold, the ice. Be safe on the roads. Look out for your neighbors. Look out for the people around you, and look out for yourself. Be safe. Be cautious. Be mindful. Because these are some, we it's gonna be it's tough, and some people think they can drive in this stuff, and it's hard. If you're leery and they're saying the roads are bad, don't get out in it. Just wait it out and stay home or stay wherever you're at. Because I know a couple of years ago, it's probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and here in Georgia, they just they didn't close down the schools or nothing, and they just thought that it wasn't going to be nothing bad, and it ended up shutting down everything. Like there was school buses and cars and stuff stuck out on the highway, and I mean like major highway, and some of us like we had to walk, and we walked for hours, like over an hour. Like my son, he was stuck on the bus, and it was, I forgot how long it took from the, I mean, and it's crazy because he wasn't far from the house, but it was still far enough to where when you couldn't go get to it from like with your vehicle, because the roads were that it came out of nowhere. And so now Georgia does not even hesitate. Like they will call it, if you say snow, schools are closed. Like they don't play with them snowstorms down here no more. Before that we had the blizzard in '93. So I was young still. So no, I mean, but as far as getting a white Christmas or white snow, and we haven't had that in a long time, y'all. Does it usually snow in Kansas? So we have you know I don't know if anybody's. I know there's a lot going on, because we're getting closer to January 20th. We're starting to see um the true colors come out of people, greed come out, selfishness, and we're also starting to see a lot more support, and a lot more voices being heard. I have noticed, there's a lot more going, like more. I've noticed there's some people resigning. There was a in Henry County here in Georgia, for some the what was it, the head sheriff out in Henry County is resigned, and then there was some other attorney something in Georgia here that resigned as well. And there's a lot of hiccups with that particular place. But I was reading the data research for Georgia, and the data they pulled on a report of like from 2015 to now, and they did an update on it last year, and the numbers haven't really, they haven't fluctuated or anything. They haven't gone up. There was like a 10% decrease, they said, and but the numbers for the reunification is not, it's not happening. Like, so I mean, why can't they just listen to us parents that are fighting for our children, and like give us, like let us tell, like not tell them, but let us help them help us, not a lot. The weather is pretty mild here. I wish, and Debbie, in Georgia here, it either is good or it's just bad. Like there's no in between. Like I wish we had the mild kind, because it would be nice. Because I would really love a to be able to go outside and play in the snow. I really would. Uh, you know, it's we haven't had that in a long time. It's been that gushy, nasty, icy stuff that has the dirt and everything in it. I would love to be able to build a snowman or something one more time. It would be nice. Um, so everything, like, has anyone had any updates in their cases that maybe anybody wants to share, or any anything, y'all? I thought I'd be better than this today, but at this, and I had a topic which we could still talk about it. I was looking into the foster care, and like what, and when a child's taken from a home and they are placed in the state's hands, and then their place, maybe say the child's sent out of state or even to another county or whatnot, away from their environment, their community, their family, their siblings. Um, the CPS is supposed to keep that bond tight within So if a child, say if there's two kids, one of them's removed and one stays at home. So the one that's removed is supposed to their job is to make sure that that child has a bond still close with his community, his siblings, and they're supposed to have frequent visits and everything. Well, I've noticed a lot of parents saying that that their kids are not getting the sibling visits or even family visits, even with extended family. Like, they're not getting the communication with the families like they should be. I mean, if your court order says you get 2 hours a week, you should be able to get 2 hours a week, whether it be at an hour for one day and then another day, or break it up into like 30-minute sessions or whatnot. And like they're not even, but they don't even want to go by that, but they want to sit here and have the parents to do all these counseling and want to be on. And there was something that I heard today, and I was like, well, I asked the Chat GPT, I think it was, or was it Gemini on Google? I asked the question, it's kind of like how not placement. It's kind of like within the prison system when if a person's getting out on parole, if you go think about the process, policy, I mean, process to get approved for placement, to go home or to get out or get placed somewhere, a child. I even asked ChatGPT. I said, so it's kind of like the parole process to parole out of the prison system, and it's like you're still under the supervision of the state or whatnot, whoever's your supervising people or oversight people, and it's and Chat GPT or the AI that I used was like, well, not necessarily, but it can relate to that type of scenario, like the same steps. And I'm like, it is. I mean, it's the placement is, you still got to go through the approval, like, and to be approved for a home, an address with prison, it's just like when they have to do the home study and go check the home for a placement for a child in foster care. They have to approve the family, they have to approve the home, approve the community. Well, parole is the same thing. I mean, and if you think about it, it's it's kind of like a re-entry back into the world, and it's crazy how it is. She a new one, Debbie? I I'm hearing a lot more. I'm hearing positive things within the CPS system now that 2025 has come about, and they know that we are not playing anymore, and they it's like their game is up. They can't. Hey, Vinny, how are you? And these CPS workers, and they can't get away with it anymore. They can't. There's nothing they can hide. It's Parents are speaking out. Parents are voicing it. Kids are going to be heard. Voices are starting to be heard. Kids are not meant to be lost in a system. I'm sorry. They are not meant to be taken and, like, for money at all. No cash for kids, no nothing. Like, alienation is something that should never happen in any child's life, like from a grown person that is supposed to be looking out for their best interest. So thank you, Vinny. I'm glad to be back. Uh, so how's everything going in your case, Vinny? She's new. Is she new? She's new, Chris. Thanks, Vinny. I couldn't even talk the other day. Thank you. So she's new, Chris, and so that's a good. Yeah, thank God I got my voice back. And see, so I don't know what y'all have seen in the uh in the CPS world and in the news, but there's been a lot of stuff going on, and of course I see Maine is still one. I got a lot of stuff going on there. um Georgia still ain't hearing much around here, but it's going on. I mean, okay, okay, cool. And it's these workers, they like, okay, let me ask you this, Chris, from your experience from 2025 to 2024, or 2024 to 2025 with your CPS thing case, does it seem like they're nicer because they know that the corruption and the malicious intent, like the intentions that they have, the bad decisions, I mean, not decisions, the bad ways they have, like they're negative. Do you think it's changing in a positive way? Like, do you think they're nicer because they know, or do you think like it's still gonna have the bad apples? Because it's a system that definitely needs reform. It definitely needs, and the biggest thing is that parents are so scared to voice themselves and go and apply the pressure back on these people because of retaliation. And it's because, think about it, I mean, I've just been in this for 2 years with my case, and it's so, Maine is bad. Maine is horrible. Like, I see Maine in the child information welfare gateway every day in my email every day, and they probably take like, there's probably 4 different articles about Maine. um they were saying something about the CPS director up there or something. They have no faith in the director, and this is the employees, and even a higher up, like the person above, I think, of the director. I'm not too sure, but they don't even have faith in their own people. I mean, and I'm sorry, if I'm going to be working side by side with people, I want to be able to trust them. And I mean, if I can trust them that they have my back just like I would theirs. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you. And that they would be able to work the case instead of causing a case to go in shambles and then hand it off to someone else. Like, that's kind of what happened in my case. But yes, Maine is a very, they're trying to make changes, but it's just not quick enough up there. It's like there's a lot of bad apples in that CPS system up there. I did hear Connecticut was one of the, I don't, I'll have to get back with y'all on this, but Connecticut was pretty decent. They got some kind of award or something, not an award. They got like acknowledged and for some good, because their numbers were up. And I've thought I've heard bad, like negative things um about Connecticut. So yeah, I was trying to think. Like, let's see, what else? You know what? I wish I didn't turn my computer off, because then we'd be able to really know what's going on. Because the child information gateway. Thank you for sharing your story, please. Thank you. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Please share, like, and subscribe, and hit yes. Thank you. Share it out, like it, subscribe it, invite your friends. She talks to your son more. So does she interact with your son a lot? Like, does your son have any kind of autism or anything? Oh yeah. I don't know if anybody has noticed, but Robert, what's his name? Robert Kennedy Jr. Let's see what this. CPS is very evil. So Miss Gill says CPS is very evil. They're never going to change. That's not no change. There's not no changes. It's just they write a newspaper and that's about it. But they will continue to do the things and tell all of them. Yeah, they might not. They're but they are doing changes up on the federal level, like on with legislation and stuff. I do know that they have a lot. Like in Georgia, I can say that I don't know if it's for the better because I haven't had a chance to. I mean, I guess I'll find out here in a couple of days, like next week, because the 14th is coming, and that's going to be the day that's going to make it or break it for me. Like in my case, um, hopefully, I mean, I'm keeping the faith that it's going to be in good standings, like that everything's going to come out good, and it's so far so good, and that no discrepancies or nothing comes up. They just jumped. Yeah, they've been doing CPS evil. Yes, and it's all about money. Hi Moose. Hello, welcome in. Thank you for coming joining me. Glad to see everyone here. Here we go. Hello, friend. How are you doing? Good to see you here. Thank you for joining in with us. Until CPS stops. Let's see. Until yes, and it's you're talking about the Title IV funding, right? And do you know they were having they were talking about the Title IV funding and how they've been double dipping with these parents with child support. Because I can say for my view, I opened up child support on myself in 2018, and it was a part of me graduating the program, and that was my requirement. But yet, my family had my kids for over a decade, and then I did that. Well, I was my court order said with my son I was supposed to be making payments until the age of 8 or 20, and or until he graduates school. But because my son is special needs. He's autistic. Well, what's crazy is the county, they transferred my stuff to the county I live in, not the county that the original issuing county, which is supposed to be in that county where my son was, which, you know, minor corruption, yeah. And they ended up closing out my son's case, but leaving my daughter's open. And they come to find out they were never supposed to open up child, like approve the case or whatnot with my son, because my son gets he was getting Social Security. So it's kind of like they were saying double dipping, and that's what a lot of these parents, and that's where a lot of their money has come from. And instead of putting this money in their pockets and keeping up their vacations and their time, their stays and their parties or whatever they got going on, why aren't they putting it where it needs to be? Like, these families would be so much stronger, so much more, like, just it would be less stress. Definitely, we the numbers would be awesome in the CPS data that they, in the reunification stages, everything. There would be so much more success stories than what the statistics are saying right now. Like, I think in Georgia, the reunification was in the teens. Like, it was very low. Uh, and the average kid that is in that's in the system is usually in for an average of 2 years, and that's a big worry, because I thought when they're in their 18 months, they can go up for adoption. Okay, no one, yeah, right. But there's some people that try to milk it. Miss Gill, let's see. Don't give up, my friend. You could do. Thank you. I'm trying to catch on the messages. Thank you. Sorry about that. I believe in you. Thank you. And they need to stop taking kids. And their numbers, I was looking at for 2024, an update in the state I'm in, and the numbers actually went up for kids and that were getting taken from homes and entering foster care, and the reasonable efforts they were failing to do and exhaust all reasonable efforts. Like, they're automatically, when they remove a child, they're supposed to start search a due diligent search for family, kinship, something. And and when my situation first started in 2011, that's something that they'd never talked about families first and all that. So I asked my family for help, and they helped me, and the judge, he just left it up to me and my family to decide what to do from there on out. It was just a paperwork thing. But now I'm glad that they're starting to talk more about kinship, because there is a lot of family out there for these kids that these caseworkers fail to do, is and to find these families. They just want that check. They just want that incentive bonus. I mean, for a special needs child in foster care, it's crazy how much they get for these kids. I mean, and it's like Georgia pays Texas daily for my son to be out for his care. and I forgot what the rate was. I'll have to look back at the financials because I got some like case tired. Yeah, he from my okay, awesome, awesome, Minnie. Moose is it Moose? Welcome in, Mustafa. Is that how I say it? Did I? What are they doing with? That is what they're doing. Is that what they're doing with Chris? All right. Okay, you're fine, Miss Gill. English. Sorry about that. Yeah, don't give up. Don't ever give up, and don't ever. Your voice. The more you speak, it's okay. Don't ever let them take your shine from you. You can voice yourself and sing your heart out. I mean, say what you want to say. Say what's on your mind, and because the more they hear, the more they know we're not playing. Like what with Darren, pack it up. One is tough, but a lot but a group is unstoppable. Like a big crowd, but many. One parent is tough, but when we come together as one, oh boy. I mean, so more and more parents are starting to get that courage to talk. And if I can't emphasize enough to these parents, like you got the power, you got the strength, and you got the courage. Just find it, because I promise you, you will be there. You don't have to sit back forever and be afraid. Don't let them bully on you, because they want to talk about bullying in schools, but yet they want to go and do it to families and break up families that are fine. I mean, I understand that they need to, the neglect definition, they need to broaden, like, takes low or take that wide range of this, like the, what neglect is, and narrow it down to, a whatever, like maybe very, they need to narrow the list down, because I mean, a family, what if they didn't go grocery shopping? Like CPS comes out to your house and they say, well, there was a call that there was no food in the fridge or something. And what if it wasn't time to go grocery shopping? Like, they don't know. They have no idea. They just got a call from some anonymous caller that's probably trying to start something. I mean, it's not fair. And I know that Texas is a state that no longer, anonymous callers will not be held anonymous anymore. That you will know who called in on you if you get CPS called out there in Texas. And I don't know if any other states have done that. If there is, let me know, because that would be awesome. But I wish more states would step up and do that. Please, everyone, share, like. Thank you, Miss Skill. The corruption's bad. Yes, it is. My daughter was. Oh, Denny, was she? Did y'all get notified? Did y'all get notified, or did they? She got bit. Wow. And they did nothing. Make sure y'all document that and keep record of it, so when y'all can bring that up, because if they're not, see, that's why a senator, John Ossoff, and that one in Texas come up with Foster Care Transparency Act, because they're supposed to be documenting detailed information about the abuse, and like like for instance, Vinny, what happened with your daughter, that should be noted in a detailed, very detailed information. And they're supposed to be writing this stuff down, and they're not. And just, yeah, everybody, when I can't emphasize enough to you, record any doings you have with these people. I was going to say another word, I'm sorry, please forgive me. um my words are getting ahead of me. And just record everything, document everything, keep a journal. Do not let any communication go by that you don't have it on your phone, your device, on your notebook, in your notebook. I know some states are a one record state where you don't have to notify them. I mean, thank goodness. I like how Georgia and Texas is like that. I don't know how other states are, but if they want to try to be shady, why wouldn't we want to record them? Because we would have to look out for ourselves, because they're not looking out for us, and that's what they're supposed to be, like the motivator in your case, and help you strengthen yourself where you were falling weak. of why the case is open on you. Like, that's what they're supposed to, but they don't. And I've, from when my case first started, I had I had read in a pamphlet, and I got this pamphlet off the probate court website that's in my county, and I mean, it could not say enough about the caseworker being right there with you. Like, she said, and the way they worded it is they're supposed to be like attached at your hip. Like, y'all are, it's like you're supposed to be two peas in a pod, inseparable, you know. And my thing is like, I can't really say that any parents or any family has ever had that experience. No one I've talked to has ever been able to go through that. Like, I don't know if any of y'all, they don't care, and they don't care where these kids go. Churches, schools, pre-K. Yeah, hey, Lady P, thanks for coming in. They never, they has any. Okay, let me ask y'all this: has anybody ever heard of the Judicial Citizen Panel Review? Do y'all have that in y'all states or counties where y'all are at? Good, good, Vinny. So good. So she took pictures. Okay, make sure y'all timestamp them too, so you know, and detailed information of what your daughter said. Did y'all get to see your daughter? My case was at the schools. See, in schools, you know, I have a brother that is 37 now, and when he was younger, well, when we were younger, and he's still, my brother is 37 years old, y'all, and if I can get him to talk, I can probably see if he'll come on the show real quick. I would ask him. Maybe I'll get up and ask him. But he can tell you how CPS is when he was younger, and it still traumatizes him till this day. Like, he can be watching the podcast and something will trigger him, and and then when I get off the podcast, he'll bring it up and he'll be like, "Sis, do you remember when?" And the thing, like, my brother, like, was we were in school, and my brother would have to. Let me see if I don't want to like yell. He probably don't want to come on the show. Hold on, let me ask him. Well, no, I'll ask him in a minute. But because it's only me. If there was, if CBS comes around, so but they made my brother. They've said he was abused and bruises, and my brother was rough when we were little. Like, he would ride his bike, and I mean, I would think I was probably 10. I don't remember much about it, but I do know that it did happen. And my brother, they were at the school, and they made my brother show his lower area to these people, and he was a child, and they took pictures of his bottom half and a bruise that looked like a triangle on him because he fell off his bicycle, and he told them that. And that is so horrific for them to make a child. He was only maybe 6, 7 years old because he's 3 years younger than me. So, and for him to remember that and still be triggered when certain things are said in the podcast or whatnot, he's 37 now. So just imagine, look at that trauma. And I don't know if he's listening now. I don't want to trigger him or nothing, you know, but he has like a breakdown. And so if it can traumatize a person from the age of 6, 7 years old, and now he's 37, just imagine what it's doing to these other children. And this is my own brother. So I can just imagine, and that was just one time dealing with TPS when they came out to the school. And he's 37 now, so that's what, almost 30 years of trauma. Like, he was always afraid that they were going to get him, and it's just a nightmare, and it's crazy. And yes, record it. They come to your house. Yep. Don't let them in. Make sure they got the proper paperwork. CPS is something like. And I do know. Okay, so with CPS, what Miss Gill says, let's see, she says, if you don't have an extra room for your child and CPS is something about the room, tell him, can you get me a bigger house and you pay for it with the room you want me to be. Right, right. And you know, they'll probably definitely get off that subject when you ask them to help you with purchasing a home, like getting a bigger place. I mean, they want to create problems and make it harder for us. when these families were living comfortably. They had food. They had food to eat. Yeah, I'm sure. Like I know in my household, some days are better than others. Some weeks are better than others. Some, bills. Sometimes you hit a rough time in your life. I mean, a rough spot, and but that's no reason for CPS to come in and butt in and just break your family up just because your paycheck wasn't that much and you couldn't afford like a bunch of groceries just to like maybe only like maybe $150 worth of groceries, but at least that your kids are going to be fed, your family's going to be fed, and everything's going to be great. Because if you've been making it this long and your family's functioning, then what is their business doing coming in anyways? Like, you know what I'm saying, people? Like, it's ridiculous. They say stuff. What? Okay, Vinny says they say stuff on us, but have allowed Disney to put porn in all their shows and movies. That is so true, and yeah, and then now they got you know did you they'll say if you're on probation or something. And I've ran into this problem, but if like I had pictures of my kids when they were little, and an average of any family, any mom, when your kids are little, you always got the picture of, where they're young. I mean, well, my one of the pictures, my child did not have no clothes on, the upper half, but they said that it was that can be that if that I needed to get rid of it or get it away from me because it can be if the right officer come, it could be considered child pornography. And I'm like, it's my own kid. Like, why would you? That's like taking the family, the 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 whole. It makes you feel some type of way when they could say that to you about your own child, and it's like how can why would anyone want to consider that child pornography and when it's my baby, those are supposed to be special moments like as a kid's growing up, not a moment for some government official to tell me that's a explicit photo of my child. No, like that's not cool. It's it kind of makes you eerie in your stomach, like it makes you just cringe and ugh. And it's like, I mean, who comes up with this stuff? How do they think like this? Like, why would they ever? That's one thing I've never understood. And till this day, I mean, because every time I get the runaround from them when they do, I'm trying to see if my brother's going to come out. So he'll see if he'll talk on the show. Maybe I'll catch him when he sometimes hides from me when I get on the show because he thinks I'm going to put him live on my camera. So, well, today I'm like, but he'll be all right. He gets nervous because my brother, his anxiety and his mental capacity, he can stay home for like 3 months, y'all, and not even leave the house. Like, I don't know how he does it and it's him and his puppy dog. Like he's content with his, and I mean, he's got an Xbox. He's content with his, and when I tell you, he fixing stuff, he can take something apart and or find something that's broke and put it right back and like fix it and have it working. And you know, before his disability happened, he's been like his short term memory is gone. Like he has to constantly be reminded of what to do. Like he'll be like, "Sis, what did you just tell me?" And I'm like, well, but I have to be consistent with him because I have to keep reminding him. And once you're consistent with him, he'll catch on after, so many times. It'll be like, he knows my boundaries. He knows, but he does have his freedom because he's an adult, but he can't ever live by himself because what if he forgets to turn the stove off or something like, and, there's things that he does struggle with, because his bright side is, hi, Brenda, welcome in. Thank you. And, and I saw something that said back in the day, I'm on this little, like, I'm trying to look at the thing, y'all, and I'm blind. Like, I am so blind. Back in the old day, kids okay, I don't know if y'all remember when me and Carrie had the show, we're on the show, and she was showing us how Colton communicated was using spelling, like with his tablet, with like these nonverbal kids. And let me make sure. They tried to order your kid to have shots. Oh no, Lady P. Oh no. I had a hearing today about CPS trying to order my 10-month-old and 2-year-old to get. Oh no. You won't believe what this CPS supervisor testified. If a child, and then Miss Gill said, if a child doesn't have a nice clothes, then you go out there and you use that money, right? I'm buying them new clothes every year and helping out the family. Yep, right. And they still have not. Like my son walked, he just got some nice stuff, and he still got Christmas here at home waiting on him. When he gets home, because he should have been home at Christmas, but they don't spend the money where they're supposed to. And then like with my son, they when he first went out to this facility, he said they joked around with him, and you can hear them. And it's the person walked up to the call and the video visit that I was on, and they're like, "Are you easy money, Alex? Are you easy money for us, Alex?" And I'm like making fun of him, like mocking him, and it's like, wow. My son has no family in Texas. He's 4 states away from home. There's no reason for them to send him out to Texas and just make it harder on me to have my son and be. It's not like I can just walk out the door and be there. And these parents that are able to go out there. I wish I haven't got to hug my son in 2 years. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait. And my brother made a comment, and last night he said, "Sis," he's like, "Yay, Alex is coming home." He's like, I miss those days, and it, and he always has to be reminded where my son is, because his memory, once again, and some days are better than others when he's told where he's at, because he's like, well, what is he doing there? He don't understand. And then other days he's like, well, what is he stuck there? It, so I am going to be handling caretaking for 2 disabled people in my family. I mean, they deserve a chance at life too. It's not, they're still people, is in my eye. I mean, and they're still people. I mean, they, just because they're different does not mean. Oh, yeah, Lady P, you can definitely. Yes, you can. I am off. Okay, run down a lane. Okay, Minnie, be safe, stay out of trouble, and kick their butts. Just call them out. Let them know what's up, that we ain't playing no more. All right, so here's Miss Gill. She said, you tell that social worker that in her case plan, when she complains about you, to make sure that she puts out the funding that they're going to help you out and buy and everything. Right. And, my family, I have an aunt and uncle that has helped me in getting my son. And, they, when my aunt brought up to them about, getting that help, and do you know, I can't even get my brother insurance. Like, he don't get, he's disabled. He don't get Social Security. He don't get insurance. He don't get food stamps. Like my brother, they've denied him every which way, and he's been disabled for over a decade. Like it's been a while, and he was also born with a disability because he had, hold on, he had lymphedema. He has lymphedema in his legs, and that's hereditary. So it runs in the family, and it's where his lymph nodes are like, and his legs are swollen. They say swollen, but he was born with that. And there's different stages of that, and it can be painful. I know that heart problems do run in my family. My mom, she passed away of pulmonary embolism. They said it was a blood clot that broke off and uh, went through her heart or whatnot. There's a lot of things that, and then sorry, y'all, I just, it's starting to, this heater starting to kick in, my heater in my room. So it's nice because I've been freezing otherwise. It's cold when you wake up in the mornings and you go to use the restroom and it's freezing at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's not cool. So yeah, that wasn't cool. This morning it was very cold, y'all. Very cold. My heater stopped working in the bathroom and it was no fair. Rough morning, guys. Rough morning. So sorry. I mean that may have been too much, but let's see what else we got here. Make sure CPS shows up when they're talking about you don't have food. Tell them to take you to the store and pay for you. Right, because that funding that is there for them is set. There's a reason why it's there. It's to help build these families up to get them back up to where they can take care of themselves. Um. Uh. Lady P, did you want me to send you a link? Hey, Brenda. Am I going the right way? Where am I? I'm at home. I'm in Georgia, Brenda. You like my background? Is that what we're talking? Is that what it is? It's a beautiful background, ain't it? Like, I wish. If CBS took him, they would get. Yeah. Now, who Miss Gill? My son. My son was already getting Social Security, but my brother, they're not getting my brother. They can't. No, they're not getting bro. No, bro, don't. No. He's and it's funny because at the beginning of my case, I got my brother, and then my mom, ooh, my mom had passed away unexpectedly. She was the guardian for my son, and she she passed, and it was not. I had just talked to her like 5 minutes before that, and you know, that day was like it was like everything just come at one time. I mean, I didn't know. I didn't even have time to think. Like son was taken, and my aunt did that, and he was hid out for me for 2 months, and they know that I couldn't find out anything, and I'm on like being led on a wild goose chase, just running circles. I had to go get my brother in Florida because there was a hurricane coming, and I had like it was emergency. They were evacuating the area, and he was in like the pathway of the hurricane. And then, it was time. He needed to come home anyways because he was just down there visiting a friend. Sorry, y'all. Um, but this is that kind of weather where you just want to start the fire and just sit there with your cup of hot chocolate and tell stories of past times. I mean, I miss those days. I really do. Like we used to tell all kinds of stories, and now today I did put on TikTok my song, and it's called "Free from Fears," and it talks about it was originally named Georgia's Hidden Scarlet Letter because if you think about it, like with the shame and these families that are dealing with CBS are often misjudged and automatically categorized, like we're automatically labeled as a misfit or something. Like we're it's, instead of being a person, we fall under as a statistic, and I'm sorry, like something needs to change with the CBS because the reunification is not happening. If it's supposed to be families first, the reunification is not happening, but the families divided is. The families divided is getting worse every day. These states they're taking more and more kids, and you can just imagine when it gets closer to January 20th, what's really going to be like, like is it are we going to be missing our kids? What, thank you, Miss Gill. Thank you. I appreciate it. And hugs back to you. Hello, Herbert. How are you? I'm great, Herb. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for everybody. Everybody press the like, share, follow, subscribe to the channel. And we will be no, I'm not sick. I'm getting my voice back. A warrant is required to take a child. Your child is your Fourth Amendment property. Right? And they they do remove children without the proper paperwork. I do know that if a court orders, they're supposed to have a court order to remove a child. I do know that. And they can't just have a piece of paper. It's got to be signed, and the right wording's got to be on it. Cross your T's, dot your I's. It's got to be right. It can't just be a scribble scrabble with stick people drew on it, and they expect you to, and colored by a like a kid, like back, you know, scribble scrabble, like just it can't be looking like that. It's got to be legit. It's got to be professional looking, and it's got to be correct. Always, always, if they try to come remove your child and they have papers, don't ever let them try to tell you that these papers are going to be that they're like they're what you need, because I mean it could be anything. Like they walk up to you and have a notebook, and let me see, for instance, they have a notebook and it like papers, and they say, hey, I got this, and they show you a blue sheet or something, and like, well, you can't really see it, but they show you a blue sheet, and it's right here, but you can't really tell. But and it they no, you want to see the actual warrant itself. Like you don't want to see something up close. You want to see where it says your name, it says what they're doing, what they're there for, precisely, like to a T. The period's got to be in the right spot, everything. So always check. Do not let them fool you, because they will try to take their stack of papers and say, hey, well, I got the warrant right here, I got the paperwork here, or, we'll be back with the warrant, or they'll try to tell you that that there's a court order that they can show up unannounced. No, you want your proof. Until you get proof, you may, they got to show you where it states it, and there's court orders I'm still waiting on. Like, I mean, and then don't let them just write stuff in your court order. That is not, that's unprofessional. That is not cool. And anybody can write anything in a court order. And do they? I mean, no, it's got to be most of the time typed in and put on the record. Like, make sure that everything matches up to what, if there's any discrepancies, call them out on it, file a motion, do what you got to do, bring that to the attention, because there's some things that in my case I wish I would have did, but I didn't. And each one of us, I'm sure, if you have never dealt with the CPS world before, I mean, my kids were in my family's care for over a decade, and then all of a sudden my mother passes away, and now this, and it was unnecessary, it was uncalled for, but it was out of the blue, it was a shock, it was surprising, and I was confused. I mean, I think I felt every emotion there is, every feeling there is: lost, confused, hollow, depressed. I mean, mad, angry, sad, happy. I mean, I was never happy. I was like there. I walked around for a long time, the first 6 months, just confused and just why. I would just ask myself why. And the reason why they sent my son to Texas is they said there was no local placements for him here in Georgia. But here I am, and I got family. Like, when I tell you my family's big, my family's big. So I don't understand how they could still. They told me use my mom as the piggy bank because my piggy was not. Okay. Now that, see, and that's where they bank on, like, it makes you wonder, like, you hear about all these funds and stuff, they're supposed to be going to these caregivers and everything. Like, here in Georgia, you can, if you're a caregiver for a relative or a disabled a person, and you can actually be paid as a caregiver. There's like a, and it's not cool knowing that some of these people bank, and this, like, their hustle game is to foster these kids or be a caregiver to these kids or even family or whatnot, because all about money, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all. It's not I don't see how it's not noticeable. I mean, I don't see how it's allowed, because the kids are not no hustle. They're not no prize to be won. They're not a toy. They are human beings just like us. They have feelings. They have thoughts. They have wants. They have needs. And they have cares. They have worries. They feel the same things we do. They're just young, a lot younger, and they don't, but they don't know. And for them to do this to a child at a young age, it's, I mean, back to my brother. It happened at 7, and he's now 37. So, oh my goodness, his birthday's coming up soon too. Oh boy, he'll be 38. Ooh, almost, I can't forget his birthday. Ooh, when it rains, it pours. That's right. Deprivation of the color law under 8, like, yep, section 242. Yep, you're right. You're right, Christopher. Very right. Deprivation of your rights under the color of law. Ain't that the 1983 section 242? Yep. And we there's fraud in everyone's case. I know over the last decade there is so much fraud, and it's gotten worse over the years. And it's crazy. Do you no snow here in Georgia yet? No snow yet, but we're working on it. Thank you, Brenda. I think I'm behind on conspiracy against rights under the code of law. Is that 241, Christopher? Okay, so that's, yep. And they're not supposed to do it intentionally or with bad faith or anything. And what they do, and I can almost probably guarantee that a bunch of these families probably have stuff that these caseworkers or these departments have filed with the courts that is false. And it's, voice yourselves, voice yourselves, voice yourselves. I can't tell you that enough. Just jot everything down. I know sometimes when I go back over my case, it's a lot, and I have to maybe take a break, or I have to set it off to the side and be like, okay, well, or somebody else to read it to me, because yes, it is a lot, but you know what? We're fighting for our babies, and one day when our babies look back and they're like, well, there's my mom, look at her, you know, I never gave up, and like, those are my babies, and these are America's children and the world's children, and they don't deserve nothing but happiness and nothing but the best. They learn from us. They are our future, and they're our they're gonna make they're gonna make what the future holds for us. So they learn from us. So wouldn't you want your child to have nothing but the best when they get older, and for when they have families, and then carry on from there. I mean, so let's fight for our kids and protect these children, and get them home to their families, and get ours home, and let's get it back, and get this abolished CPS, and let's pack it up, and let's get it. Just keep fighting, everyone. Do not give up. Isn't it like a handmaid's tale, right, Brenda? It is very much like a handmaid's tale, handmaid's tale. Any word on you mean my son coming home? It's sometime this month, Herbert. It'll be by the end of the month. 14th we have court. The 14th. And also Chris says, and also the Fourth Amendment right, your child has the right to receive the love from a parent, and the parent to also express that love. That is so right. You're correct, Christopher. And thank you for sharing all this information with us. I greatly appreciate it. And yes, you do. And I could probably there's a I'd say 99% of us that are, it's like when they take your kids, it's like, how do we, I mean, it feels like we're just stripped of everything. I mean, and it takes a minute to get that strength, because we got to find ourselves. So, but yes, we do. And we know, I mean, it's not like parenting comes with an instruction manual, no, but neither does life, so we learn as we go, right? Why be punished for that? Like, why punish and make things worse when they could fix it and make it better, and at least give us the chance to fix what they think is messed up, because I promise, half these caseworkers don't even have kids. They probably don't even know how to handle, especially like a special needs nonverbal. They don't. But some of us, we didn't know either. Like I did not know when I had my son that he was fine. But we laid him down one night, and he woke up the next morning, and he was 3 years old, and he was like all regressed all the way back to baby mode. Like he wasn't talking. He had defecated on himself. He because he it's like he potty trained nothing. He couldn't talk. He was like, and when I tell you that is the most devastating, shocking thing that any parent can go through is like your child last night told you he loved you, but tonight he's a totally different. He's not himself. And my son, he was up to developmental charts and everything up to his age, and then he at 3 years old he regressed all the way back to, and it was like we had to start over with the whole, and he would never had any disabilities or anything, but then he was diagnosed with autism after they did their little on the spectrum. But thank thank goodness for my nanny. She has helped with my son, and my son wouldn't be who he is today if it wasn't for her. She made a promise. My grandpa, which was my best friend, I was pregnant with my son, and he was sick, real sick, and he passed. Oh, the weekend of Mother's Day weekend in 2005, and my son was going to be born after Mother's Day. My papa looked at my nanny and he said, "Mama," he said, "I can't hang on no more to take care of that little boy." And my nanny my nanny kept her promise, and that was 2005 when that happened, and she passed in 2018. So it's like my son gave her more life, and I would never ask for a better moment for my son or anything, like anybody to ever. I mean, it worked out so, and it was just God works in mysterious ways. That things happen for a reason, and my son is so kind. He's caring, the sweetest boy. That I mean, he just sometimes I'm just like, look at him, and I'm so proud of him. He's my hero. That's my best friend, and he's been through a lot, and he's my trooper. Like he's a lot stronger than me. I know that, but let's see what else. Hardwick County. Yep, the Ninth Appeals. See, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Yes, Chris. That is so. Attorneys that work, all attorneys that they're court appointed, they usually work. Their first duty is for the courts. Like they owe that to the courts, and that's what sucks. Is my court appointed attorney like railroaded me. How can you tell me on my case that there's nothing like on the record for me when I gave you plenty to submit for me, my statement of facts and finding, like my statement of truth, like, but nothing. When I tell you for like 6 months, there was nothing on my record, on record for me in the courts. And yes, and Christopher is very, very smart. Will your son be coming home soon? Herbert, yes, he will be. He will be coming home this month by February. He'll be home January. I'll know more on the 14th. So hopefully the snow won't put that off. But me and my aunt on the 14th, we will know more. But yes, he is going to be definitely home by the end of the month. Yes, and it's very it's awesome. It's it's going to be awesome, and y'all will get to experience everything with me, and I'll video everything, and it's going to be great. I've been in war for 9 years, Christopher says, with DCF in Florida. Learn court right. Chris, may I ask, if you don't mind, what is your child? Was your child taken? And how old? How many? I mean, if you don't have to tell us, if you're open to it, that'd be great. How old are your children? And they were taken from you? Were your rights stripped of you? Or 9 years? Wow. And and are they? Did you ever get them back? I would I would love to hear your story if you want to ever come on and share. You're very you got a lot of knowledge, and if you would love to, I mean, I'm sure everyone would love for you to share that, because that you're very knowledgeable, and knowledge is power. And whatever, I mean, if you, I'm sure that I've learned a lot from you in this podcast today. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that with DCF. They are just, if that's 9 years ago, that was what, 2000 and like 2016, no, yeah, 17. Wow, it's that's not cool. So Mustafa, you've been going through it as well for a while now. Um, yes. So, and thank you, Christopher. Yes, and now everyone in the chat, tell Christopher thank you for sharing all his knowledge with us, because that's awesome. Knowledge is power, y'all, and you have no idea how powerful you are. And share that knowledge. Like, we can build this together, and we will be one heck of a powerful people group to go fight them, and they're not going to win. We the people, we stand together, and that's what they're afraid of, is us coming together. And let's make it happen, y'all. Let's make it happen. We can do this. And they don't, those are our kids. They're the kids that they are taking from us. Those are our babies. That's our family. That's ours. I mean, it's not theirs. That's our babies. So let's get our babies back, and let's get our babies home. And my promise to everyone in the world is, your baby, just like mine, I will protect any child there is, and I will fight for any child there is, no matter what. No matter what their color is or what their condition is. It don't matter. Any child, any teenager, any family. I'm here. I stand with you. I back you. I will fight for you no matter what, because it is not their job. It is not their right to take our families and rip them apart just because they want to. No. If leave these families alone that are not broken. Stop trying to break up the families and create problems that were non-existent before. Just because they may not have an extra gallon of milk in their fridge, leave them alone. That is not neglect. I'm sorry. That is not neglect. Just because they may have they don't have enough clothes, or they had to wear the same clothes. I mean, it looks like that. Do you know about the family? Don't. They need to stop creating problems, because that is what the world, they get off on this, and they enjoy this. And there's some of them that it's sickening. It's Stop breaking up these families. Leave these families alone. CPS, leave them alone. If there's no danger and there's no problems, stop listening to these callers. They need to focus on the children that are being really, really badly abused. The ones that they are just putting off to the side. They need to stop. Um, Judge Trot. Okay, so Christopher said Senator Judge Trot. I'm gonna have to call it for the show, guys. I'll have to call it in a minute. Let's see. So Christopher says I can do probably about 10 more minutes. I don't know if there's a show coming on it. Yeah, we'll end it here soon. Probably in about, what time is it? 5:30. I'll probably do like 10 more minutes, y'all. Well, 10, 15 more minutes. I think we'll go to 5:45 my time. So yeah, let's trying to catch up on these messages, y'all. So, but I love it. Thank y'all for the great audience today. Being here with me and staying with me. Like, that's great. It was my first podcast back in about a week. It's been a minute, and it's good to be back, and I'm glad to be back in out here and getting myself back out there with Dylan, with fighting for these children, to get their safety and get these families reunited. So Miss Gill says, let's see. And none of these people that work in CPS are true social workers. Are they social worker therapists or social worker investigators? They're a bunch of impersonators, in my opinion. That is correct. That is true. Miss Gill, did you ever hear about in Arizona about the pink ladies? They used to wear it was they worked for the CPS. They were casework social workers, and they walked around town, and they said it was a joke. And now each one of them lost their job. But did you know that they walked around with these pink shirts, and it said on the front "professional kidnappers," and on the back it said, "Do you know where your children are?" Like, and they walked around their town like this and like putting like showing off these shirts and sporting them like they're something. And I'm sorry, if you're gonna wear a shirt like that around my town that says professional kidnappers, no, uh, no. But yes, they did lose their job, but they are and what was their mental like? What was their mental state? Their mental health like something like that. And you work in social services, something's wrong. They needed a psych eval. Like that is just as a joke. Our kids aren't jokes. These are our families. What is there to joke about? Like these are lives. These are human beings. These are living people that you are messing with, and that is not. But you're looking out for their best interest by wearing a shirt as a joke that says professional kidnappers. Come on, like Arizona, step it up. Like come on now. Don't be people like that. Don't even need. No, no, it's uncalled for, and they should be licensed and everything. These social workers, if they're going to be trying to refer you to counseling or whatnot, like make sure get all in a court order and get it in writing. That's what I always say too. Do not go by their word. Do not. Oh, well, trust me. We'll if they tell you, oh, we'll get it taken care of next time we meet or something. No, you want to write them in there. Otherwise, it's not getting done. Like hearsay is not good. That's what gets a lot of people in a mess. But neither is their word. Their word's not trustable. Like your word is, you know what they say, all you got in your life is your word. Well, you know what? Some people, their word is nothing. And CPS workers, I hate it for you, but your word is nothing. I'm not going. I would never go by your word. I need it on paper, and I need it signed and on the record, if anything, because you're not because what they'll do is they'll take it and they'll flip it. They'll tell you one thing and they'll flip it around and make you seem like the most horriblest parent ever and make you out to be someone you're not. Create a problem that never existed. Like, why do that to a family just with bad intentions when you're supposed to be reunifying the family, not dividing? So I don't get it. I still don't understand them, but time will come, and it's coming. It's all parents are speaking out, and we got this. And the ones that have been going through CPS for a while, I'm sorry, and I wish that things like this never occurred in our world. This corruption, this hate, the bad intentions. I am sorry that you had to go through anything like this, and I hope that you have not gave up, and you're don't ever give up, and just know your kids love you, and a child will never forget who you are. A mom, you'll always be his mom, his or her mom. A dad, you'll always be his or her dad. You know, your parents are your parents, and our kids know who we are. They can try all day long to try to get our kids to divorce us. Really, is what like divorce us. Like you got to divorce your parents. And an old podcaster that I was co-host with, that's how he used to refer it. He's like, they try to get my children to divorce me, and the brainwashing that these caseworkers do just out of spite. It's like, what do you get out of that? That's going to be traumatizing that child for the rest of their life. And not only that, look at the parents. My girls, my youngest daughter she's 16 now, and she's a sophomore in school, and that's my baby. And the last time I seen her, she was 15. She was like 2.5 years old when I got when I was going to prison, and I got to see her one time since I've been out, and that was 2011. I got to see her in 2012, and I would do anything to hug my baby one more time or see my daughter at her graduation and get to see her at her track and field. And I'm the one cheering her. And if she wants to know my kids, my girls, I mean, I want to send this message out to them that, the loudest one in the crowd, baby girls, it's your mama right here. I'm like, I'm cheering you on. I'm the biggest fan, and I love y'all, and I miss y'all, and I hope one day that we can get this right and make a relationship and build what the bond that we so desperately deserve, in the future. So just baby girls, just know mama's fighting for you, and I love y'all. And okay, I had a moment, y'all. I'm sorry. It's easier when they are your kids. Yeah, that happened to Sage at 6 years old. They brainwash, and it's my son. Miss Gill is 19 now. He's 19. He entered foster care at the age of 17. He was actually 6 months away from being 18. And I've never had CPS in my life. I never lost my kids to CPS. Never. My mother passed away, and my aunt took my son from my parents' home when I was there to get him, because my son was with my parents at the time. And my when I as soon as I showed up, I didn't even get out of my vehicle all the way, and she was already dragging my son out of the house. And the last thing I remembered from that was, help, mom, help. And I had just lost my mother. I wasn't expecting to ever think that my son would be done this way. And just I yeah. So my son's 19, and that's how CBS got involved in my life. It's just here recently. My son was not even 6 months away from being 18, and why they've never been in my life before. So why right now when my son's almost an adult? It was based on lies and hearsay and false information. Yes, Miss Gill, to Christopher, Miss Gill says, you're very knowledgeable, Christopher. Where are you located? So maybe y'all can share that information in the chat. So exciting, Lady P. Yes, I'm very excited. And we're all our days are coming for the better, and we are gonna get our families back. Okay, so. And Brenda Christopher said, where are you at, Chris? In Florida? You said he's in Florida, right? So Christopher, you're here with us. Okay, so let me go ahead, and I'm gonna have to call it. Get your chat back tomorrow, which is, and I'm gonna try to fit in a show maybe overnight tonight or maybe tomorrow or whatnot. So to catch up, to get everybody back in, for me to get back in the game, with the podcast, to get caught up, because I know I'm lacking some podcast episodes. So and I did have some information to share today, and I as soon as the podcast started, I just totally went blank. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the show let's see, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's this show. I'll be back. Then we have, I believe, the Tip and Punisher show tonight at 6 or 7, and then the Punisher show at 10. And I'm gonna have to get back with them on the schedule, because I don't know if it's changed or not, and I have not been. Yeah, so I need to get myself in check and get back with the you know what I mean, the agenda. I need to understand the assignment, y'all. So I'm gonna get with the schedule and find out what it is now, and I will know more. But I will see y'all tonight if y'all want to join for the Tip and Punisher show. I believe it's at 7 p.m. And then you have the Punisher show tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So y'all be good, and I will see y'all. If not tonight, I'll see y'all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time for Unmasking Foster Care Corruption. Y'all be good, and it's day everyone.